This is the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Welcome back. Another episode of the Talk of Music City Real Estate.
Where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
Monty Moore here with Realty One Group Music City.
Hey, and Carey Ann with CMG Financial and My Mortgage Team.
Every week, Carey Ann, we're coming back and we're sharing all kinds of things, Nashville real estate value.
Yes, we are, and you can follow along and subscribe at thetalkofmusiccity.com.
And for those of you that got a question about real estate, got a question about being a realtor, got a question about being a real estate broker, ask away at questions@talkmusiccity.com. That's questions@talkmusiccity.com. Nice.
Absolutely. And we have a wonderful sponsor. We're so thankful for them.
Yes, thank you.
Music City Removal. Music City Removal is the #1 junk removal service in Nashville. From residential, commercial, and construction, they're experts in ridding you of junk. Their costs include labor and dumping fees without any hidden or added expenses. Whether you need a full clean out or just one item removed, they have you covered.
The Music City Removal team knows the importance of respect and trust while in someone else's home. You know, I wish some realtors sometimes knew that. I mean, I'm sorry about the segue here, but you know, yesterday an agent leaves a key in the front door, the back door open. It's like, come on, guys, please. You're hurting me. You're hurting me here. I'm sorry for the distraction here, guys.
Oh, my.
Let's get back to Music City Removal team. Knows the importance of respect and trust while in someone else's home.
Yes, that's important.
They understand the inconvenience of junk left behind by previous homeowners and tenants, and are determined to provide an affordable and customer-focused junk removal service that puts you first. For a free on-site estimate, just go to musiccityremoval.com. That's musiccityremoval.com.
Music City Removal, because clutter ain't cute. I love it. Well, thank you for that. Hey, so we have another episode, and I just came back from Miami. Did you hear?
Yeah, can we talk about that for a second? I heard that you're like maybe won an award or something. What's that about?
Well, I'm very blessed. The team and I, we won an award. We were the #1 originating team for CMG Financial for families served over the last year. So we just thank so many of the agents out there that put their trust and support in us. We love what we do. So it made for a fun event going out there to Miami and receiving the award.
Jim, have you noticed that she always, every time we talk about this, she always credits her team? It's not about Carey Ann, it's about her team.
Well, I'm only as good as the people I surround myself with, and they are quite amazing.
Amen, sister.
Yes,
I just want to bring that to everybody's attention.
There's no I in team, so and we really work hard to. Everybody's got a role. You know, I learned that a long time ago, that to really create an awesome team that works well together, everybody has to have that specific role. And my role is to get the phones to ring and to keep the glue. I'm the glue within the operation.
You have an amazing operation here. It's just absolutely incredible. How many homes how many families did you help last year?
We helped over 630 families last year with a 90% purchase ratio.
That's incredible.
So that was, I was really proud of that. When a lot of folks were coming in with 80+% of refi business, we were up there really high on our purchase ratio, which makes me happy because we don't focus on the refis now. Today, rates being as low as they are, and the Fed lowering the interest rates, I mean, now is the time to refinance. We definitely would be honored to help anybody and everybody. You know, the folks that are listening out there are probably real estate agents and being self-employed. We specialize with the self-employed. We have many different options, whether that's a one-year tax return or even a bank statement option for those that are self-employed. So refinancing today would make the most sense, whether you're consolidating debt, you're getting prepared for a renovation come spring, or maybe you're just planning for a college, education coming up, or if you just needed a getaway. So there's many options available when looking to refinance, or actually even lowering the term and looking to get that paid off as quickly as possible. Be empowered by no mortgage.
Carey Ann, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were convinced that it would be easier for them to refinance with their bank. Can you talk to that?
Well, it's similar to what we talk about. You know, there's a lot of marketing. It's crazy. Somebody says, well, isn't there, how long does a mortgage stay within your organization? And by the time you close on that and the public record shares that you purchased a home, somebody is calling you, I swear, the next couple of weeks about how they can refinance you because somebody got your data off of the public record and looking to try to find a solution for you. So is it easier? Is it cheaper? No, the costs are the same. We have no cost refinance options as well. We do cut our lender fees for our past clients. We really try to make it a win for them. And again, you want to work with people you trust, like, and understand your whole scenario. And we have your documents. Why have to go through that whole process again when everything is already in the system? So,
but that's part of the argument that the bank makes, I think. And no offense to any bank mortgage folks out there, but it's not any easier. Is my point. They still have to start. They still have to gather the information and still have to process it, right? Yeah,
and I think we talk about education. You know, you may look that the rates are low, and then all of a sudden this individual guy or gal shared with you that your payment is going to be this low, but they forgot to remind you that you just added 15 years back on your mortgage, right? Or you changed your term. So being educated on all aspects, the term, the rate, the payment, what is it even make the most sense to refinance? If you're only saving a little bit of money, what's the cost associated? Right. What's the recoup time? Take the savings into the cost associated with that, see how much time it'll take to be in the green. And if you think you're going to be in that house longer than that time frame, then it is a win. If you think that the plan, your kid's going to be off to college in 2 years, the plan is to move after that, it may make not the most sense to do it at this time. So being educated is key.
So since we're talking to real estate professionals and mortgage professionals, and people thinking about getting into that business, when you help somebody get their loan, and then that person does get snagged by one of those inquiries or one of those solicitations and they refinance, does that affect you in any way?
Well, I mean, I think now we really work hard to create clients for life. And so if they get snagged because of a shiny object, or this is what's crazy. Well, Carey Ann, or they'll drop my name or they'll drop the company name because they see the company name. So they really think that maybe it's the company that's helping them. They get confused, right? They may think it's a team member type of thing. But it's our job to create a strong database and a relationship that is really deepened on a trust and a true relationship. So they know that they would want to come back to you because not only do you provide a great service, but you educate and you stay true to your word. That's important.
Amen.
Yeah. So in Miami, I had the pleasure, and over the last couple years, I've been talking and listening to more of an amazing sales coach by the name of Todd Duncan. Have you heard of him?
I have.
Yeah, he's been in the business a really long time. And he spoke to our organization this past when we were in Miami, and he shared with the 5 irrefutable principles of high performance. Say that word fast.
Irrefutable.
There you
irrefutable,
go.
Irrefutable.
You did that. You said so good.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean,
So what is an irrefutable one anyhow? Tell it. What makes it irrefutable? You can't refute against it? You can't
you can't deny it.
You can't deny it.
You can't deny it.
Just say undeniable.
Yeah, but it sounded really big. Did I sound more important by saying that word?
I think you did.
Okay. And I actually think I got it. It was like when I did the Bunzarola the one time on Dancing with the Nashville Stars. I never did it any other time but that one time, but I said it right this one time.
But so that's good. It. And you did a great job.
So he has 5 principles. So I thought we would talk about them today because it got me thinking. And you can be amazing at what you do and you can always be learning, right? I get excited to take the time even in Miami to listen to him for a couple hours. I took pages and pages of notes, but his first principle, everything can be improved. What do you think about that one?
Wow. I think our world requires that, and that's why we have to embrace the changes in our industry, yours and mine. We have to embrace those because everything can be improved. And there's no point in getting in the way of the evolutionary process of those improvements,
Yeah, I mean, from our process to our efficiencies to, our everyday routine. I think, it can be personal, it can be business. I think that was huge. It really got me thinking because it's easy to fall off the wagon of your personal every day. I make sure that I'm consistent on my business, but the thought I was supposed to start, moving, like walking and working out and stuff like that. And that completely fell off.
This is March now, right?
I know. Right.
Where did the first 2 months go? I mean, I was going to be in super top shape, by now. It's like, are you kidding me?
I'm coming up to my 25th high school reunion. I'm not aging myself, but my 25th high school reunion.
25th?
Yeah.
Did they let kids in that young?
I love it.
Seriously.
But I'm thinking I have this big plan that I was going to be, mentally and physically fit. But hey, maybe we'll get around to doing that. But everything.
We'll fall back on the mental part. We're mentally fit.
But I think that's a struggle too. In sales, it is easy to just kind of get off that, even the mental wagon. I mean, you have to just be working on your mind, and your abilities to help more families, through sales. What do you think?
I think if you're going to stay on the top, even not even on the top, especially on the top, but anywhere near the top of your game, that you've got to be growing daily. I mean, we try to encourage our agents, look, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better, and you can choose to make that better, to pay the price, because prosperity follows value. It doesn't follow need, it doesn't follow wishing, it follows value. So become more valuable. And the way you can become more valuable is become better, and the way you become better is to study people like this.
Huge. So his number 2 principle, which I really enjoyed, success can only be built on failures. What do you think? How many failures have you and I had?
Jeez, you don't want to know.
But that's so huge. I think he talked about fear. Have you ever seen the explanation of fear? What do they call it when they have an abbreviation of it?
Yeah, false evidence appearing real. That one, or what?
Yeah,
another one.
Yeah, so that's
acronym?
one. There's acronym. So being fearful to go out because you're scared to fail. He said that one you just referenced. He also said face everything. And rise, right? Face everything and rise. I like this one, feeling excited and ready. That kind of got me okay, because I think
excited and ready. I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, for fear, feeling excited and ready. That was here you go. I snagged yours. That was one that I thought was really good, because in this world of going to the next level. And what's the next level for people that are high performers or high producers? We all have certain goals. We have that 2020 vision this year, but if we're scared to fail or scared to try something new, will we really ever get to that next level? And so, focusing on jumping in the deep end and then learning to swim in whatever scenario I want to do. So this year I really threw out the net and I started trying all kinds of new things, and I've failed a few of them so far. But I think you can build off of those failures to create a huge success.
I think you've got to jump out there and take a chance. I really do. And it's going to you're going to be out of your comfort zone to do that. But I like that, feeling excited and ready.
Yeah. Feeling excited and ready. For the folks that are out there, maybe video. I do a lot of classes and a lot of people talk about how they want to do it, and
get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Huge, but they never do it because they're too scared. And I said, if you just do it once and you're terrible at it. And if I'm hopeful that nobody finds my first video and or even our first radio show that we did together, right?
Yeah,
Lord, that was
poor Jim.
That was a hard one.
Jim, how'd you stand that? How did you live through that?
It's just day one. So I got to reminding myself.
Yeah. But we built off of that, and we feel more comfortable now behind a microphone or behind, video. People laugh and say, you're so comfortable, through video. I'm like, oh, you don't even know. I had to run around the building a couple times to get yourself. So, be okay with failing, because that's just going to build to bigger successes. So he has this one, number 3, the principle, emotional connection deepens trust. Emotional connection deepens trust.
Absolutely. I totally believe that. Emotional connection.
You have to not, I think in our business, sometimes people go so fast, it becomes a transactional scenario versus slowing. I'm a big believer in slowing down to speed up. So you have to slow down, make that connection, find a connection, whether that's dog, kids, we had Michelle Cruz on the podcast last week, and your connection was that her husband and her work together, and so do you and Connie. You find that connection that you can have a stronger bond or stronger conversation with, right?
When I go to a listing appointment, as an example, while they're showing me their home and how proud they are of their, whatever, new toilet seats, whatever there is that they're showing me, I'm taking notes of things that I can connect with.
Right.
It could be, because I've got great big feet, it could be big shoes, it could be grandkids, it could be fishing pole in the garage, whatever that I can connect to, because I know people who do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And just like you're saying here, that obviously on an emotional connection, it even greater deepens that trust, So I like that. I agree.
Yeah.
Totally.
Do you find that if you're about to go on a listing appointment, do you utilize social media in a way to, I hate to use the word semi-stalk them, but more profile or understand them a little bit more, so you can say, oh, you already know that they're into golf, or that they're, into country music, concerts, or, the finest wines, that kind of thing. Do you ever utilize something?
Or they're a serial killer. There's all kinds of things you can find out. I'm just kidding on that part, obviously. But we also do that when we're interviewing agents. Before we ever sit down with somebody, we do pull them up on social media just to see, look, who are we dealing with here? Because our reputation is going to be connected to whoever we decide is going to be part of the family or not. So that's, I think we all need to remember that when we are, putting ourselves out there on social media. Can I shout this from the housetops, so to speak? And sometimes I don't even want to, like my granddaughter. I love my granddaughter. She's a sweetheart. She just got married recently. But I don't want to, I haven't, she wanted to friend me on Facebook. I said, nah, I'm good. I don't want to know what she's into.
Oh.
I'm afraid it's going to affect my, respect for her maybe or something. I don't know. I just don't want to know. I'd rather not, oh, she's so sweet. I just rather think that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's an option.
I'm just saying you got to look at the whole picture. We don't want to know everything about some folks, but we do want to know those we're inviting into our world.
And do you, because some people have it private, so you can't see much, and they're probably the smart ones of the whole.
Probably. I don't know how to do that, or I would.
Yeah, but there's others where if I'm interviewing an agent that I want to meet, I do take the time to, whether we're not friends yet on social media, and do take the time to try to understand a little bit about who they are, and or if I meet somebody new, I try to quickly get them to be connected with me on social media so they can have a deeper emotional connection with me to know who truly I am. Some people see. I hear, oh, you are this, and this, and you're driven, and you're unapproachable.
Superwoman. Let's go ahead and say it. You're Superwoman, Carey Ann, and that is intimidating to a lot of folks.
That's the word, intimidating.
But you are real as well,
Sure, and if you really can see I am for a reason. I came to music to be a success. That didn't work out, so I am going to be a success. Because, I owed it to my dad to do that. That's kind of the thing that I have down deep inside. So, but I'm also going to take the jacket off my back and give it to you. And, we're going to have a lot of fun, and I'm going to try to be the best mom I can. And I'm also going to stumble along the way, and say things
You're an
that make,
mom. You're
thank you. Mom. Thank you. It make no sense. But what I'm saying to folks that are listening out there is you can be vulnerable. You can share a little bit more. Some people are scared to get out there and share a little bit about who they are, and they're good, they're bad, the ugly, right? The whole concept. Now, being appropriate, right? We also can get a reputation. We can be branded by certain things, where, I see, for me, when I'm looking to hire employees, that is true. If you, let me tell you the story. So I went ahead, we're going to hire somebody to help out at the house. And this girl came in and she was dressed the part, right? And I was like, yes, finally, we've got somebody I think is going to be a success. She was kind, she was sweet. Everything met every box. And for some reason, and I always do this, but for some reason, this girl swooned me in a way that I was like, so excited, please start next week. So she starts next week. And then 2 days later, she calls in sick. Okay. Then another day later, she calls in again. This girl called in 3 times within the first 2 weeks, right? So I jump on social media, and that all made sense. The 21 or just turned 21-year-old, it found her way down on Broadway and just had, a lot of fun. And her the way she dressed is definitely not the way that she dressed, after hours and had her fun. So she did not have a headache because she had the flu, I think, type of thing. So you're right. We have to understand that all of us can learn more.
We live in a fishbowl, so be careful what you're posting out there. If you want to be impressive to somebody who might be your employer.
But you also can do it in a positive way too, because you can make that, a true connection, for your clients.
Absolutely. But and once they pass that particular, requirement that, okay, I want a relationship with this person.
Right.
That's, I think, how
first impressions, right?
We've been interviewing a lot of staff folks, over the last couple of months, looking for the right one. And God bless it, we found. I mean, we're so grateful to have Lori as our front desk person. She just does an amazing job. Such a sweet spirit. And then Chrissy is helping Connie and helping me. And oh my gosh, it's just so awesome to have such great people, great hearts. But that's the first thing. We had, I don't know how many, 50 maybe interview resumes. Every one of them, Connie went to social media first because she said that will tell the story that they won't. So I think it's a good practice.
Some of them are getting smart and they're changing their names. They're using their last name first. I've had to learn that the hard way at a couple of it. So if you can't find something, you can search a little harder.
But I do think it's a good idea before you go to listing appointment to check somebody out on social media and to get a feel for what they're into and speak to that. I think it's going above and beyond the call of duty.
Well, and
Absolutely.
to deepen that trust for a first impression is huge. Like if I was a real estate agent and I was going for my listing appointment, I would get on social media, figure out the connection, and then send something to them associated with what I realized maybe how they are, and share a little something that really kind of already before they even get to meet you already know that that's your personality and or maybe helps strengthen that trust.
I think you're right on something. I think you're onto something. I think that everybody ought to be listening to. We have sometimes less than 10 seconds to connect to a person on that emotional level, to capture their attention, because we live in such a cluttered world.
Right.
There's so much there's so many things trying to get people's attention. And if we can spend a few minutes before ever sitting down with that person or getting, in front of that person on a listing, as an example, or a buyer or anybody, and determine if we best we can of what kind of personality type that they have.
Right.
Just so we can speak on their level. It was about a year ago I was interviewing a young agent, and God bless her, she's such a sweetheart, but she talks so fast. I mean, and just, and I said, well, wait. Well, I said, what do you do if you sit down with a client who speaks slowly and maybe very deliberate? Well, I just keep talking because I have so many things to say. And she just goes, it's like, God bless her. She's not, you've got to understand, you've got to reflect who you're with. And the way to do that is to do the homework and to understand those different personality types. I think that's critical. Oh,
that is huge. And the stronger the trust, the deeper the trust, I think the longer they'll be a client for life, right? Absolutely. That's what my business is built on. And I don't market myself anymore. I just simply take care of those folks that I've taken care of in the past. They know them. It's just that's the ultimate business. That know, like, and trust me. Yeah. Yes. There you absolutely. Go. Hey, so the principle number 4 here is competence leads to confidence, and confidence leads to consistency. What do you think about that one? Competence leads to confidence, and confidence leads to consistency. Confidence leads to competence? Competence leads to confidence. Oh, competence leads to confidence. Yeah, and confidence leads to... Who's first and who's on second is what I want to know. But, I think when you can create a confidence and you can get to a place where you become so consistent because of that true confidence. You don't have to know all the right answers. You just have to be confident that you will be able to find the right answer. And so when I train, my team, it's put your shoulders back, speak in a way of true confidence, and you'll have a consistency there that people truly will trust you. And the trust may be that you don't know the answer right now, and that's okay. You'll be able to find the answer. But this weakness or, the way that you hide behind, this is the things that I think in our industry, a lot of people may hide behind email or hide behind not returning a phone call or hide behind not sharing bad news. Bad news is okay given if given early enough to A, find another solution, or B, just roll it out in a way that sometimes the answer is just no, right? It's not always going to be yes, but having that consistency with confidence. So what do you think? Can you share it again? Competence leads to confidence. Confidence leads to consistency. Gotcha. Did you get that? So I'm taking notes. I'm sitting at your feet here, just taking notes to the grand poobah of information. Well, okay? And he did such a great job. I think that is true. If you're going to be somebody really high in performance sales, you have to be confident. I don't know about you, but I study and I choose to do it on a Monday for 2 hours, but that is in my calendar every 2 hours. I mean, every Monday for 2 hours, and I actually do it with my team. But the consistency there actually brings that confidence level too. Creating that is a way that we're able to maintain and help as many families as we do under 20-day period every single month, every single year.
I love that you brought that up, because yesterday, just this week on our huddle call, every Monday morning we have a huddle call at Realty One Group Music City with those agents who want to participate. The reason for that, a couple fold, is one of them, we want to operate our company more like a family, more like a team than a bunch of individuals. I think as a whole, the real estate community seems to be more more very much like, everybody's kind of doing their own thing. Kind of like, I know that's how the company I came from was anyhow. And we really want the synergy, we want the strength, we want the brain trust of a collective group working together. So one of the things we do is we have a Monday morning huddle call where we try to educate, inform, inspire. And so on the inspirational part this week, I was actually sharing, we share that part of that responsibility of the inspiration, and we've had some agents just share some amazing things. I mean, God bless America. I'm so grateful for the people that we have in our organization, but this week I shared a moment out of the Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. In the faith chapter is a self-confidence formula. Okay, it's a 5-step formula. And I read that 5-step formula because when I found that, when I got a hold of that, reconnected with Think and Grow Rich, which is considered the most influential book ever written next to the Bible on the topic of success. Okay. We're not talking about becoming rich, although that can happen as well. We're talking about success, living a successful life. And in this faith chapter of in the self-confidence formula, it's a 5-step that you repeat out loud. And I literally saw my life change from about to lose my home to when I got that book, I started reading it out loud like it said to do and signed my name to it. I walked into my former broker's office and I said, David, I'm going to sell 77 homes this year. He knew what my situation was. He knew I was about to lose my home. Right. He knew that I had nothing going for me and nothing pending. And yet I'm standing there before him and telling him I'm going to sell twice more than anybody had ever sold in that office, probably forever. And I said, and it was because of the self-confidence that the competence I was feeling from that self-confidence after reading that self-confidence formula for so long. Long story short, I ended up selling 77 homes that year. The reason I chose the 77 homes is because I needed $350,000 just to start pulling my way out of my situation.
Sure.
But the point is, you cannot overstate, and this is what I shared yesterday with the family on our huddle call, is I cannot overemphasize the importance of self-confidence. There's few muscles that are more important in a successful salesperson or a successful business person's life than self-confidence. I'm not talking about trying to writing checks you can't cash.
Right.
We know what that looks like. Right. People are acting confident, but they really don't know what they're doing. We're talking about developing that heartfelt confidence because people have to, as you've heard me say so often, people have to believe the messenger before the message matters. That message is going to be more believable if it's coming from a confident heart.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's huge. That's huge. It's good stuff. The last principle he has here is accountability is more important than action. Accountability is more important than action. This is something that we started implementing this year because I've been blessed to, I hate to admit this, but wing it for as long as I have, to a point where I haven't really been measuring. I have been going out and getting more business and more business and more business, but I wasn't holding myself accountable, the capture rate or the ability to maintain or have that client from application to close. What was my percentage, right? I didn't know those numbers. I wasn't holding myself accountable to that. So I kept going to get more business when sometimes you just have to start within your own little organization or the business that you already have and build off of that, So I think that's huge. Accountability is more important than action. Holding so me true. And myself and my team accountable to what I agreed to say is important.
That's the number one thing I think is that word right there, that any coach can bring into somebody's life is that accountability.
Right.
Because we start, letting that other little voice on our shoulder convince us that, you don't need to do that, or that's not important, or you'll do it tomorrow, or whatever. Accountability, that's huge. That's huge. Are you holding your team accountable?
Yeah. Now it's a place of true accountability, and we've been very blessed, but I got to a place and said, how do I break through? I keep saying we help 650, which we keep hitting 650. How do I break through that, and still be able to provide a service that everybody feels comfortable and everybody's still being able to be taken care of, and they feel, great about the education and the service levels, et cetera, et cetera. So, now we are really looking into all of the numbers, right? And charting those. That's one thing I just never really did.
Is there a ceiling?
No, I mean, here's one thing I will say. There's some originators, and maybe in sales, they look that they have in their pipeline $2 million, let's just say, right? Maybe they have 10 families that they're working with. But then all of a sudden, 6 or 7 of them drop out because of appraisals, because of inspections, because of cold feet, because of this. So their $2 million just went to $600,000.
Right.
And my goal is to hit a certain number. So I never looked at that. I always just kept my nose down and just helped as many families, and that doesn't matter if it was a 50. I never look at loan sizes either. It's just a family that we're helping. And that's what I coach my team on is
I agree.
Some originators literally cherry pick and say, that's a THDA loan. I don't want to work with that. Or they think that they only were going to make $200 on this type of loan. And that's not worth it to us and to my team. I just focus on another family because you never know who they're going to, who they're going to know, and how you can create a client for life. I laugh because I said, I was a first time buyer at one time. I bought my $199,000 house, and somebody took a chance to try to create and have me as a client for life and saw the bigger picture. And now they were able to assist with a very large home, later in life. So it's all about, staying, holding true to your word. We already do that, but what is your take on accountability with your type of business? What do you think?
Well, it's one of the things I do try to offer for our agents, or I say our clients, because my agents are my clients now, is that accountability. Actually, it's one of the things I share each week is, let's schedule an accountability sit down. Not long ago, I sat down with one of our newer agents, and he said, Monte, I don't understand why you're spending this time with me. He goes, came from another company where I left $50,000 on the table. You're getting a tiny, tiny, tiny portion, less than $500 per transaction. And yet you're spending over an hour with me. I don't understand that.
Sure, wow.
So we do try to bring that, because we understand, and that's what he was wanting. He wanted to talk about how can he take it to the next level. Well, when you've sold over $1 billion of real estate, you should be a pretty good asset of at least ideas and how to take it to the next level, even in today's world. So I believe accountability it's one of the most important. If you haven't been to our office lately, you need to come over and look at in our training room, because we have now, the one word.
Yeah.
We need to talk about that sometime.
Yeah.
And that accountability is the top word on all those words, that whole collage of words we have and it's because the reason I know that is it was pointed out by the gentleman who chose accountability as his number one word. He said, why is that on the top? And I said, because we can all relate to the importance of accountability. So is it important in our world?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, these are just 5 really great principles about being a top high trusted performer. I thought it was wonderful and wanted to share those. So if you guys are looking for some really good books, and Todd Duncan is an amazing author. I love reading his books. He really just breaks it down. Plus, it's easy reading. I'm not a really good reader, but these books are really easy, breezy books. Yeah. And they get to the point.
There's more pictures.
I love picture books. Look, picture books. I love it. But I'm all about taking one idea, taking one principle, and building off of that to really make a difference in your business.
Each one of those are life-changing. Each one of those are business changing.
And just take one of them. You don't have to do all of them. Sometimes when we get so overwhelmed with so much, just pick one and start to make a difference in your business with that one principle. So this was a great one. Good podcast.
Thank you for bringing that.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you so much for listening. Remember, you can visit talkmusiccity.com for many more podcasts.
And also share, subscribe, rate, review, and of course, please tell a friend. We cannot do this without you.
Absolutely. We'll see you next week.